All right, the first movie on our list is Soldier. Kurt Russell. Tom.
Looking good with the flat top.
He was.
Well, this is like right after Stargate, right?
He is buff as
Yeah,
fuck in
it's
this
right
movie.
after Stargate. So like he was like on that like juice blend, you know, that cocktail of cleansing.
So when he got cast in this movie, he took 18 months to actually bulk up with, specifically he said without steroids.
Oh.
So like the movie, so this is a Paul WStanky Anderson movie, and he went off and made Event Horizon in between, Kurt Russell working out to get ready for the role in this movie. So you can thank Kurt Russell for Event Horizon, basically.
And then how long did Robert Pattinson take to put on all that mass for Batman? How long did that? 0 months.
0
months.
0 months.
He smoked a cigarette and showed up.
So I always love it when an actor gets into the role as much as he did for this one.
I think it's funny because Kurt Russell looks great in this movie,
he looks
right?
great.
He looks like a really buff freaking soldier dude. But if you compare him to like modern superhero movies where they're obviously on some juice, and like Hemsworth right now with Thor, he's like freaking looks like a horse. Just,
yeah, man. He's all acai berries and superfood.
Yeah,
and some lifting. Some
he looks good. I like.
He looks good. Did I say that? Acai.
Is it not?
I never know if I say
it's probably a Portuguese word, so you're saying it totally wrong.
I only get it when I go to that fancy smoothie place.
It's like a hard J in there. You don't really
with an umlaut.
Like, Portuguese is confusing.
Acai.
Yeah. Like, no, it's Amazonian word. Like even worse. Even worse.
No, I think you had it right. It's acai.
I think it's acai.
You're not looking at 4 healthy people right now. So
I am extremely. How dare you, sir? I'm here.
All right, Tom is filling in for Jude. So you got the synopsis for us?
I do. I've never read it.
Okay,
I've not read the synopsis.
Okay, this ought to be fun.
This is a one I can read. I can read. So it's a one.
Well, give us the box office first, right? Isn't that what you?
Is that what you want to start with?
Yeah. So basically, Jude usually tells us what the budget was, and then she'll go around the table and we'll guess.
I've played this game before.
Okay. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, guys. What do you think the budget was?
God, screwed that up.
For Soldier, I'm going to say $82 million.
Really?
Yeah.
Are we reversing the game?
No. Like okay, so it cost $82 million to make, and it made $74 million.
Is that what
lost money?
Oh, we're going deep this week.
Yeah, go for it. How much do you think it cost to make?
I think this movie.
It's got Jason Isaacs in it.
I'm going to say this movie cost $5.5 million to make, and it made $13 million at the box office.
Okay. Go ahead, Tom.
These are definitely guesses. I'm telling you. Matt, you gonna throw your 2 cents in?
He already knows.
Yeah,
oh, you know now?
I usually know, so that's why.
Okay, this is pretty disgusting. The budget was $60 million.
Oh my god!
And $20 million of that was Kurt Russell's salary.
Is that right?
Good for him.
Well deserved.
A whole third of the budget.
You know what?
Well deserved.
I think they could have gone without Kurt Russell. They could have put anybody in there. Christopher Lambert would have done it for $50.
It's true.
So,
very true.
Especially at that time, he was done.
Yeah.
Christopher Lambert.
Box office, $14 million.
Oh,
they didn't make enough to pay Kurt Russell.
That's bad.
They lost money just paying Kurt Russell.
Just paying Kurt Russell.
Okay, so he got to get in shape. He made a shitload of money.
Right.
And he only had to memorize 3 lines.
Yeah.
So
good for him.
Man, he made it out like a bandit on this thing.
Yes, he did.
That is sweet.
Where was it filmed? Did we get exotic locations as well? So
no, it was a junkyard in LA.
Lived in Fiji.
So Kurt Russell is in every scene of this movie, and he only has like 105 lines.
Oh yeah,
I think they filmed it down at Venice Beach.
He's playing the character. It's a deep dive character study onto robotic, futuristic, humanoid warfare.
Well, yeah, it's got a lot of like subtext about PTSD and stuff.
Oh well, yeah, of course.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, so originally Clint Eastwood was set to star in this movie.
No,
and
I can see that.
That would have been better.
Yeah. Like they, Paul WStanky said that he wanted to make it more like a Western, like Shane. And when Clint Eastwood was involved, he was going to direct and star in it. And then he was like, well, I'm getting a little old, so I'm just going to direct it, and I'm going to cast Sylvester Stallone. And Sylvester Stallone was like, I got other stuff to do.
So, I got a big Judge Dredd real quick.
Yeah.
and so Eastwood bowed out eventually, and then Stanky Anderson came in and took over, and the rest is history.
Well, you know what? I'm very happy that he did because I love this movie.
You're insane. Tell us what the synopsis. I can't wait to hear Jude's synopsis.
I mean, on a scale of 0 to 10, if we put these on a number line, these 3 movies, do any of them pass 6?
We'll get there.
I think it'll add up to like 8.5.
I'd say, oh, it add up. Oh man. Okay. When a bunch of new and improved, I can't do it. I tried. Okay. When a bunch of new and improved super soldiers replace Kurt Russell, Gary Busey drops him off on a trash planet. A bunch of trash people find Sergeant Todd and take him and try to teach him to be normal, but not a life of nothing but war left him a little weird and unreliable and to be accepted by the community. Okay, all right. It's fair. That's a pretty good synopsis. That is, of course, until those assholes, super soldiers, show up to murder all the trash people. That's the movie. There you go. That's the gist. Let's call it Jude's gist. Jude's gist.
That's the gist of the flick.
Super soldiers and trash people.
Trash people. The asshole soldiers. You know what I found out this week? I really loathe movies that take place in junkyards. I hate the aesthetic. Like everybody's wearing rags. Everything's dingy and gross. And everything's made out of like scrap metal. I hate it. I don't like it.
Post-apocalyptic.
No, I don't like that. You know what?
I want rags. I want goggles.
You know what?
Sand goggles.
I want goggles. Yeah.
They needed shoulder pads.
Shoulder pads. Like
they needed shoulder pads.
That's the only thing that's missing in this movie.
Made of
is
tires.
Tire shoulder
Could
pads.
have done it with tires.
Yeah. It's basically Mad Max, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this movie is sort of related to Blade Runner or something, right? Is that correct, Matt?
Wait.
Yeah, so the screenwriter for this, his name was David Webb Peoples, and he's the guy who wrote Blade Runner, Lady Hawk, Unforgiven, 12 Monkeys, very well-respected screenwriter. And when they were filming Blade Runner, he wrote this as a side sequel. So like it's supposedly takes place in the Blade Runner universe. And the super soldiers that were introduced at the beginning of this movie originally were supposed to be replicants, and it's hinted at that they're replicants. and so like if you pay attention, like there's all this like Blade Runner like cars and stuff that are like junked on like the planet, and the spaceships have the same aesthetic as like the Ridley Scott Blade Runner movie.
Okay.
That's another 10 million right there.
And also like this
God.
movie takes place in the year, let me see if I can find it, 2035.
Okay.
And so like that's between the original Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049. So this takes place like, I think
13 years from now.
Yeah.
It's like I always love it when we watch movies like this and the future dates that the movies are set in, we've already gone past.
Yeah.
Well,
We're not quite there yet.
You know, Todd was born in 1996.
It was written in 1997. He's 2017.
So the first thing that went through my head is like, oh, he's a goddamn millennial. He's never going to be able to survive this. He's way too soft. It'll never ever happen.
He's a Gen Z because he's what 30 something years old in this movie.
Well, so he's like 40.
He's born in the early 2000s.
He's born in 1996. It's right at the beginning of the movie.
These soldiers were born in 1996.
It's the first fucking scene.
Kurt Russell's character was born in 1996.
Yeah.
And like the whole opening scene where they're taking the babies out of the hospital.
That's his unit.
It says 1996.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I must have missed that part.
You need to pay attention.
I'm sorry, dude. This movie is horrible.
It was horrible in the first minute.
It was.
You checked out in the first minute.
Well, it is a Paul W.S.Anderson film.
It's a stanky movie.
So you didn't give this movie a chance.
Well, there's babies in it.
You checked out.
Listen.
You said, "Oh, am I going to watch this movie? It's dumb." Paul W. Anderson.
I watched it twice.
Okay. And you didn't catch it either time.
I don't read movies. It's a freaking stupid print at the beginning.
Okay,
I don't give a shit.
Listen.
I would have read the damn book.
Listen. when a movie it's in a sci-fi or fantasy genre, all the good ones, and I'm serious about this, all the fucking good ones start out with a little paragraph at the beginning.
Very true.
Long ago, before the age of Arius and oceans drink Atlantis. It's all there.
Speaking of...
In 1996, the world has gone to fucking shit. And we have these super soldiers and blah, blah, blah. And it's like...
That is about the time it happened, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a question about the qualifications of this movie.
Uh-huh.
This is Sci-Fi Prison Escape Week.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the prison?
I didn't.
said the same thing.
I
I said
didn't
the same
choose
thing.
the title of the week. I said let's just watch these 2 movies, and then
Okay.
he threw this one in.
Okay.
So
Well, the junk planet is the prison.
It's not a
basically-
prison.
It's not. They're just trash people.
They just dumped them off and
No, they
the
didn't dump
garbage.
him off. I did pay attention because the lady, Wonder Woman's mom in this movie
yeah.
says, we were flying, we were headed towards this colony, and we
Yeah.
crash landed on this
on
planet.
the garbage planet.
On the garbage planet, and nobody's been able to come and rescue us, so we just stayed here.
because
It's
they
not a
had
prison.
The drone. I agree. I'm with you.
It's as
It's
much
not
a
a prison.
prison as the No Escape Island.
But they
is.
don't want to leave.
No, Escape Island was definitely a
No.
prison.
No, and it's
Yeah.
not No Escape, okay? Because there's like 83 movies called No Escape. It's Escape from Absalom.
Well, it was
That's the
called
title
No-
of the
it's called
movie.
No Escape.
It's not.
No, yes,
Because there's
you're
a
wrong.
freaking
In America, it's called No Escape.
Yeah, so when it
Not
came
the
out,
Russian
when it
release.
came out in theaters, it was called No Escape.
Yeah. That's right.
And that when I went and saw it in the
I saw
theaters,
it in the theater,
it
yeah.
was called No Escape. So it's called No Escape.
It's Escape from Absalom.
If you had come up to me and said, "I want to watch Escape from Absalom," I wouldn't have no idea what you.
No
were
Escape
about.
is a movie with Owen Wilson and
This one came
Pierce
out first.
Brosnan in it.
But we're not talking about that movie. We're
I know.
talking about
Soldier.
Soldier right now.
This is a trash movie, dude.
I agree.
Trash people, trash
Trash
planet.
people, trash
movie.
planet.
Why? Okay,
What, you don't like the story of the old man overcoming adversity
No,
and
that's
beating the shit out of young people?
that's an age-old story. You know,
I
it's
don't-
like
I don't hate it.
the new upgrade is better, but it's not really because they don't have heart. You know, it's the same.
Right, the iPhone 1 is better than the iPhone
It's
7.
Rocky.
It's not Rocky.
It's Rocky. He gets beat in the first, then he
no.
comes back and he finds his heart and he finds his motivation. Then he goes back and he beats the
Did you
tougher
see
dude.
Rocky? That is not what Rocky's about.
Yeah.
No,
I mean-
it's about a nice girl that works at a pet shop and some creepy dude that keeps harassing her. And he's a very violent individual, by the way.
you want
Yeah.
to come over to my house, maybe?
I'm honestly though, to be fair, I think Matt could expand on this, but I think there's only been like 7 movies ever made, right, Matt?
Yeah, the plot. Well, there's only 30 plot lines.
That is true. Yeah, there's only a few. Like,
Well, George Lucas subscribes to that idea.
Yeah. So
he's one plot line.
Yeah.
It is the Warrior's Tale. He read that book, and that's it.
I believe what Vader was getting at is that there are 20 master plots, is what they're
Yeah.
called,
Oh,
and
yes.
every story is a variation on these 20 master
Correct.
plots.
Yeah.
Yes, I just watched Northman, and the whole time I'm like, this is
Oh,
just this is just Lion King.
It's
right?
Lion King.
It's
yeah.
Lion
Mhm.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hamlet.
Hamlet.
which is
A
Which is
little-
Lion
a
King.
little- yeah, which is same thing. Right? Yeah.
It's the same plot, just with a
I'm
different
like, look, it's
aesthetic.
Mufasa, and there's Scar, and there's his mom, there's the hyenas,
Yeah.
there's Timon and Pumbaa.
Okay, so the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about is on this trash planet, they seem to have a really bad snake problem for
Yes,
some reason.
yes, they do.
I don't. Where's that coming from?
somebody dumped off a bag of snakes they picked up from the Florida Everglades one time.
Okay,
And so they all hang out and
here's my theory.
Yeah, I don't know what
I have a solid theory on this.
Go for it.
It is a trash planet. They
Right.
dump things they don't want there.
you
They
go.
colonize the planet next door and like, give her all these goddamn snakes. And they threw them over there with all their garbage. And they're like, no more snakes. We have a beautiful home now.
That's
Yeah. Well, they're out there gardening, right? The lady's gardening, and
Yeah.
at this point, Kurt Russell has like crash landed because let's talk about the opening sequence because that was probably the best part of the movie. Is that opening thing with Gary Busey, and he's like, "These are my best soldiers."
when they raise
have-
them,
they-
the kids.
The montage.
The-
no,
opening
not
montage,
the
yeah.
montage. The fight scene between the new soldiers and the
good.
old soldiers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, real quick before we get to the fight scene, did you guys notice who played 11-year-old Todd, Kurt Russell's character?
It was probably his son.
It was Wyatt Russell.
Was it
Yeah.
Wyatt Russell? Right on.
Adorable.
That's awesome.
That makes sense. How much did they pay him? Like $10 million?
Well, that was part of his deal. For $20 million, you get me and my son,
Yeah.
and you can do a flashback.
Here is my son. For $20 million, you can use him.
You could use some of those
Just
movies.
a little side thing. I think I heard that they're thinking about doing a new reboot or continuation of the Snake Plissken movies with Wyatt jumping into the role.
That is stupid.
Really?
That I've heard.
Oh
I'd
my
be
God.
okay with that.
You said-
Well, you got to have John Carpenter directing it, otherwise
Yeah.
it's not going to be any good. But Jason Scott Lee played Kane 607, who was like Todd's replacement and the guy that he was pitted up against at the beginning of the movie. And Jason Scott Lee played Bruce Lee in Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, but he has no relation to actually Bruce Lee. But around this time,
I was so disappointed when I found that out when I was young. I was like, oh, it's his other son.
yeah, but around this time, like Jason Scott Lee was trying to get bigger roles in movies, and I think
Mowgli?
I think that this movie kind of tanked that for him because it didn't do very well.
He was Mowgli.
Yeah, it's Mowgli.
Oh, that's where I've seen him before.
Yeah, that's about it.
yeah, I'm
That's
talking about
it.
his role in the Jungle Book.
Yeah.
I mean, he's yoked,
Oh, he's
and that. And
I remember liking that
He's
movie.
a handsome ethnic gentleman. I don't know where he's from. I mean, I don't know, but he's a good-looking jack dude. He should have been more movies.
When they
the
have,
90s.
When they have the fight scene on the chains, right? That was a lot of fun. I had a good time with that. And like Kurt Russell like gets on the back of him, like rips his eye open. We see him later in the movie. Does he have a robotic eye? Or is that just like
I think
scar tissue?
I think it's scar.
Yeah, it's just
because it looked kind of.
He's got the cool scarf over his eye and stuff. Yeah.
Well, it looked like a little silver. I thought maybe they were like replaced it.
Maybe they put something in
augmented eyeball.
All I know is old men fight dirty.
Oh yeah.
Don't fight an old man.
Eyeball gouging.
Yeah.
So Kurt Russell didn't die when he fell off those chains. The other two guys died, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't die.
But he fell and he fell on top of that other guy.
So basically, one of the soldiers falls, hits the floor, and dies. And then that body broke Kurt Russell's fall, so that he just got really injured and knocked out. And they thought he was dead, I guess.
Yeah, they did not check. They were just like, whatever.
Well, he's a replicant, apparently.
Well,
so is he even alive?
No.
Throw him in the trash.
Those soldiers were not replicants.
The Kurt Russells?
Yeah. The original soldiers
the Kurt
were
Russells.
humans. The replacements were replicants.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't be.
I don't think they were supposed to be replicants either.
Well, in the movie, they never said it, but in
Right.
the original script, because this is a side sequel to Blade Runner, they were supposed to be replicants.
I just took it as they went and got some more babies and raised a more advanced and harder trained group of dudes. So who knows? I don't know.
I'm down with robot soldiers. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you liked Fortress?
We'll get to it.
We'll get there. We'll get there. That was an interesting twist. What was that I was going to say? Okay, so we talked about the snakes and...
My theory on the snakes were that they were the original alien inhabitants and they just happen to look like snakes.
Okay.
Oh, like Rick and Morty. With the Snake Planet. You didn't watch that?
That was awesome.
You didn't watch Rick and Morty?
Nope.
What?
You elitist. How dare you?
Oh, I actually like
Rick
that
and Morty.
show.
Rick and Morty all day, man.
It's a good show. Shit, what was I going to say? Oh, my least favorite scene, which I thought was completely retarded. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. Completely ridiculous and stupid is when they go out there and they're like showing Kurt Russell, like, this is how we scavenge. And they go in the walkway in the middle and they're like, we got to watch out for that really high wind. And then they're just out there and the wind comes and the dude gets like sucked into the machine of death for no reason.
Michael Chiklis is just there. Don't let me die.
No, let me die. Yes. I was just like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, why? Why would you go scavenging right next to the big spinning machine of death that obviously only spins when the wind is blowing?
You've obviously never gone looking for loot because the best loot is in the most dangerous places.
This is very true. There's traps involved.
Oh man.
And,
also, that was a wheat thrasher.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to be right there.
And they like, this is the most important loot that we could possibly get. It's right next to
you never know what you're going to find when those drone ships come down and dump all the garbage out.
It just seemed really,
you have to go check it out when they land.
Really convenient and dumb to me. I was like, this is so stupid.
Yeah, it's an hour-and-a-half movie where they tried to squeeze in a whole lot of nonsense. Just be happy that it was at least visually okay, and they spent money on it.
It was just brown.
Like,
everything was brown.
I said visually okay.
I don't understand what you want in this kind of
like
movie.
if they went full like Blade Runner 2049 and they had like that really visually stunning aesthetic, that might be better, but this movie's just dull.
Can I remind you the budget was $60 million?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That a lot of garbage.
Technically, it was $40 million because Kurt Russell got $20 million of that.
Semantics.
I don't know. I just wasn't into this movie, man. I didn't like it. I thought it was dumb. Kurt Russell didn't say anything the whole time. He just like stared stoically.
That was the whole point.
He just stared at the camera the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He called everyone sir.
I mean, have you ever seen like High Plains Drifter? I don't think Clint Eastwood talks in the whole movie.
Well, it works with Clint Eastwood. But the whole time I'm sitting there.
And it doesn't work with Kurt Russell?
Not in this movie.
Snake Plissken?
He's not heavy enough for you?
What do you mean it doesn't work in this movie?
It doesn't work in this movie for me.
He's a super soldier. He shoots guns and kills things.
Not until the last 15 minutes of this movie.
They set up. He went through like every fucking war,
dude.
The battle of the 6 planets, the Russian Moscovich takeover or whatever the fuck it's called.
You really did pay attention.
It's like he's got his whole campaign tattooed on his arm,
and all that stuff happens in the canonical Blade Runner universe.
Yeah,
that is a more interesting movie.
Well, that's all set up. You didn't watch it.
I did.
You obviously did not pay attention.
I did. I remember all the scenes.
This is stupid.
No, I remember the scene.
It's a bunch of fucking garbage. Why is stupid wheat thrasher in the thing? Because they had to set up a heroic moment when Kurt Russell could come in and save the day and make all the garbage trash people trust them a little bit. Right?
Remember when his PTSD made him not trustworthy to the guy, and he was like punching that metal can until he was bleeding.
Yeah, he's training.
Everybody was like, this dude's a little cracked in the head.
He's a little psycho.
And they kicked him out, right?
Yeah, for 30 seconds.
They kicked him out.
Well, they can't keep him out.
Like an hour later, the husband's like, I gotta go back. We made a mistake. I gotta go find him. And his wife is like, you're never gonna find him. He's too far away. And then he walks out the front door and he's just there waiting for him.
You know why? Because Todd knew that they were going to come to their senses.
Oh, he knew that?
Going to come get them.
Todd. Todd's a great future name, by the way.
Todd.
That's a future name I've ever heard. This is Todd.
This is Captain Todd.
It was a really touching moment when he was sitting in the big silo by himself, and you just see the one tear come down his eye because they don't like me. I don't have any
You're
friends.
not wrong. I'll give you that one. The tear thing kind of took me out a little bit. It's like, oh, you fucking pussy. What are you crying for?
Yeah.
So, so you're poo-pooing his performance, right? Who is Kurt Russell to you in your head?
Yeah.
What character is he? For me, it's Big Trouble in Little China. That's who he is in everything.
Jack Burton.
He's Jack Burton. That is him.
Yeah, to me, he's Snake to me.
He's Snake to you. Who is he to you? Who is he Captain Ron? Is that the problem?
I do like Captain Ron. Overboard, Captain Ron. I guess I guess that's where I get my I'm more of a comedic Kurt Russell fan.
Maybe so.
And Western. I really love him in Westerns.
The thing that's cool is Kurt Russell has a wide range of acting ability. So
but he didn't use any of them in this movie.
He absolutely did.
He played the heavy. He had the tear. That was a real tear,
That was
man.
not a real tear.
It was a real tear.
CGI
do you think an actor like
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman could come play this character?
No.
Yeah, I think
so. He's too skinny.
I think he'd be way better. He'd pull it off.
Be way better.
Yeah, he'd pull it off.
Hey, Robert Pattinson could pull it off.
Robert Pattinson could do anything, apparently. Yeah. Read the message board.
With the eyeliner?
Yeah.
Just put a bunch of eyeliner on.
And not work out.
I am vengeance, guys. I'm vengeance.
Men, you're welcome. You're like, what the hell?
I'm so depressed. I have all these billions of dollars.
Oh, God, the sun.
Oh, God, I hate that.
My sunglasses
who said more lines, Robert Pattinson or Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, probably.
Robert Pattinson in the 9-hour movie.
9-hour movie.
But,
the movie was too long.
So I'm really sorry. I really thought of the 3 movies that we watched this week, I thought this would be the one that you would like at least kind of like a little bit.
I'm with you.
I watched it the first time and I was like, man, I was really not into that. That's weird. I need to watch it again and make sure I give it a good chance.
We had the love interest. He inspired the little mute kid. We had some funny trash people, villagers.
I liked that they blew the dad's leg off like that. And that moment was pretty powerful when the bad soldiers show up at this trash planet and it's like, oh, we're just going to wipe this whole place out as part of like a training exercise. And Gary Busey's like, bro, you can't kill freaking civilians. And then Jason Isaac just shoots Gary Busey.
The one thing I didn't like about this movie is I wanted a little more Busey to be more like Busey.
Yeah.
A little crazy. A little weird. Give me 2. Give me 2, Utah. Give me 2. I wanted that Gary Busey.
That's a lot of cocaine, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's the face you make when you're only snorting up one nostril the whole time. Right. You have to both nostrils now.
And this is back when Gary Busey, half his face wasn't frozen. So,
Love Gary Busey. But yeah.
So we need to talk about the fact that this is a Paul WStanky movie.
Go ahead.
I'm not familiar with this filmmaker, Paul WStanky. I've never.
It's not Paul WStanky. It's Paul WStanky Anderson.
Yeah. So Matt somehow has a thing against this dude. He makes really cool fucking movies. But whatever.
So he made the Resident Evil franchise.
Terrible.
He made Monster Hunter.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He made the Alien versus Predator movie.
Which one?
Awesome.
The first one. Terrible.
Oh, the Mayan temple.
Yeah, the Mayan temple.
You guys are just jealous of his success.
I didn't hate that. I didn't hate that one. It just making sense.
I'm going to shock all you guys and say that this is the best Paul W.S. Anderson movie.
Yeah.
Said right here.
But there's a reason for that. First of all, he had nothing to do with the writing of the script.
There it is.
The guy who wrote this script is actually a good writer.
Which one he was the salty nerd, by the way? I'm just trying to figure it out.
All 3 of us.
Secondly, he's credited as Paul Anderson in this movie.
Oh, weird.
So he's not Paul W.S. Stanky Anderson.
He dropped the stank.
He dropped the stank.
Yeah.
It's
not a good lead-in.
He was actually directing from like a good place as opposed to a stanky place.
He didn't have as much buy-in.
So you're telling me is when you put your initials in your title, that's when things go south.
No, I'm saying it's kind of like adding the W.S. to his name is like director Kryptonite. It's like it instantly makes his movies worse.
Okay.
And thirdly, no Mila Jovovich in this movie.
Unfortunately.
She could have played the mom.
She could have played the mom.
Because every movie that he puts her in is terrible.
Well, she's not a good actress.
Dude. Okay, so I just, because we were talking about the mom in this movie, which is, it's Wonder Woman's mom, right? That's the Queen Amazon lady from the DC universe.
Yeah.
Connie Nielsen.
Connie Nielsen. She was freaking gorgeous in this movie. And that was funny because that scene, like he's a soldier and he's sitting there and they nurse him back to health or whatever. And then she's there like hanging laundry with like a braless see-through shirt on. And he's just like,
what are those?
He's just staring at her. And I'm like,
what do I do with those things?
And she just keeps going. She's like, oh, what are you looking at?
What's the matter, big boy? You never seen a lady before?
No, I have not.
I'm like, your husband is right there.
I'm gonna make the laundry.
Yeah, but you know what? He never crossed the line.
No, he never did.
He was madly in love with her, and he had the respect enough for the relationship that he never crossed the line.
So the common theme in these movies is that it's all men. And they did manage to put one good-looking woman in 2 out of the 3 of these, and because you need it, you've got to break it up, right?
Yeah.
You can't just have a bunch of dudes running around in the dirt. It's just not fun.
Well,
you can,
they can,
and they did.
One of our movies does that exactly.
Literally, all the movie is it's a bunch of dudes rolling around in the dirt.
So I got to tell you guys this story because it's kind of funny. So first of all, Kurt Russell spent 18 months, like, working bulking up for this movie. And he'd work out like 4 hours a day before, set. And so the first day of the film, the movie starts, shooting. And, in between setups, Kurt Russell trips on a like fake pumpkin plant or something like that on set, breaks both of his feet.
What?
How the hell? What kind of bird bones has he got?
I know, right?
So like he broke the top of his right foot, and I think he broke the ankle on his left foot.
That's crazy.
And so like basically, their leading man, who's in every scene of this movie, couldn't walk. So after he got back from the hospital, they rejiggered the schedule. So like every time you see Kurt Russell lying down in a bed, that was at the beginning of the shooting schedule. Then they went to him sitting down, and then him like standing up. And the last thing they shot was him doing that run against.
I was just gonna say, man, they must have filmed that running scene at the end of the very last.
Because like literally, like for most of this movie, like Kurt Russell couldn't even stand. He couldn't put any weight on his feet. And there's a scene in this movie where he kind of like comes up from the water with like the Gatling gun. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah.
So
it's in my soul now.
Yeah. So for that scene, like I don't know if you guys have ever fired one of those like Predator type Gatling
all the time.
guns. But the force of them is so big that like Kurt Russell, because of his feet, he couldn't brace himself in order to keep standing. So every time he'd fire it, he'd like fall back from the force of
that was a real Gatling gun?
Yeah. And so like what they did is they filmed that in reverse. So like when he'd shoot and fall back into the water, it looked like he was coming out of the water and shooting at it.
My God.
Oh, that's incredible.
Movie magic is
man.
something else, man.
I
love the insight you give, because honestly, that makes this movie just so the broken feet, and the reverse machine, it's like the Tenet machine gun.
You know what I'm gonna do when I'm editing this episode? I'm gonna unreverse it and I'm gonna put it back the way it's supposed to be.
I might have to give this movie an extra half star just for that cool little tidbit.
Yeah,
that is
$20 million for 2 broken feet.
That's amazing.
It's a paraplegic.
I like it even better now.
Body,
All right, I'm gonna do my favorite moment in this movie, and I'll give it a star rating. My favorite moment in this movie is when the strong female leader of the trash people comes up and confronts the army and is like, "I'll take care of this," and they blow her the fuck away with a rocket launcher, and she goes, "Oh shit," and then just boom, gets blown away. Perfect.
That was a pretty good.
That was a great moment. I was not expecting it.
I wonder if they would even film that scene if they made it.
No, can you imagine if that was like Admiral Haldo or some shit?
Oh my God, they killed the strong female.
Fucking purple hair.
How
and
dare they? Yeah, she would have fucking have a shaved head, it'd be purple. Spikes,
and they're just like, she's like, I will handle this like a strong woman, and then they go thunk, and just
her hairy armpits just explode.
Oh, yeah, they probably have fucking braids coming out with fucking beads and shit.
her wispy beard is blowing in the breeze.
I am woman, hear me roar.
I died laughing at that point. I was like, I'm like,
guys, whoa, hey. We are definitely missing our mistress.
The ambassador of estrogen would have none of this.
This is an all
This is a sausage fest this week.
Sausage fest white dude show.
These are sausage fest movies. It absolutely
Oh, yeah.
makes sense
Yeah.
that it's a sausage fest.
That's probably why Jude had you come over, because she's like, nah.
She wasn't standing over here for a minute. It's like she was kind of apart, you know.
Anyway, that was my favorite moment. However, I was not into this movie. It didn't do it for me. I don't like the aesthetic. I felt like I was missing something with Kurt Russell. I wanted him to do more action-y shit. Like, they spend the majority of this show, apparently because his feet were broken.
Broken feet.
Broken feet laying in a bed, like, for the most part, and I just wasn't into it. I just like, okay, whatever. So this is a 2-star movie.
So he was supposed to do capoeira in every scene, but he had no feet.
Yeah.
So
2-star movie for me. What about you? What's your favorite moment?
I'm surprised. I'm glad 2 stars is okay from you.
Oh, it's not a 1-star crap fest.
Yeah.
It's got redeeming qualities to it.
So before Vader gives his rating, I have to drop this factoid on you guys because it might affect his rating.
Okay.
So, you know, Paul WStanky Anderson, he's well known for saving money by doing practical effects and stuff like that. And so in the scenes where you had like the large military vehicles, they hired midgets, people less than 4 feet tall, to make the vehicles look bigger. So like the midgets were the stand-ins for like the regular people. And
what?
And
I thought you meant like they were like working the wheels or something.
No,
Like,
they were the stand-ins for like the super soldiers, and they would dress them up like that so that the vehicles would look bigger.
2.5 stars.
They couldn't even do the Hobbit effect where they had them stand in the background or something.
They can't do the forced dimension, or what's it called? Forced perspective?
Forced perspective. Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, that's an extra half star.
First off, though, just to comment on it really quick, you can't say midget, Matt. So I have taken up the habit of calling them fun-sized.
Okay.
Instead of midget.
Boy, that's probably more offensive.
I don't know what was more offensive.
Yeah, so, that's probably more offensive.
That's what I'm going with from now on. Fun-sized.
I don't know if you would do that.
I don't care.
Okay.
Fun-sized. Deal with it.
I mean, if you called them all dwarves in a respectful manner, I mean, like, hello, Lord Dwarf.
Aren't they all really mad
at
Peter Dinklage?
Really pissed off at Peter Dinklage. Because it's costing them a lot of work.
Well, yeah, because he said something. I can't remember what he said, but
well, there's like he's a little person stand-up comedian. He's on Adam Carolla a lot. I can't remember. Brad Williams.
Yeah, he's good.
And Brad Williams was running it down because he was like, well, we all have to speak for each other now. and the community's upset because it's like, look, I would have loved a bit of dwarf in that movie. Why can't I do that? No, I can't.
That's fucking weird.
Now it's Elijah Wood.
I want to see a remake of this movie with Brad Williams playing Todd. That would be awesome.
Dude, Brad Williams is hilarious.
He really is.
Brad Williams is hilarious.
He really is.
Vader, favorite moment, get a rating.
Favorite moment? God, I don't know, dude. I liked it. I don't know. I hate it when you ask me these questions, especially with movies that I kind of like.
This is literally what we do.
It's your job.
I like that scene you described. I like the whole setup for the movie. I like the whole opening montage.
I do like the war on Mars or whatever, where they have like the bubble.
I like how they go from like, the back streets of, Vladivostok to some fucking
moon somewhere
of Sagittarion or something or whatever it was. It's like, wow, they really got advanced with their space technology in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I dig
really, really fast.
It's Elon Musk, bro.
I know, yeah, it's pretty cool.
SpaceX.
But no, I don't really have, I guess, a favorite scene. I just like a lot of what this movie does. It's a fun escape movie to me. This is a popcorn movie. This is one of those movies that I can sit back and just enjoy. I did that with all 3 of these movies this week, except with maybe Fortress a little bit. Fortress is a little rough. I'm not gonna, we'll get there in a little bit. But
it was amazing.
It was pretty fun.
I can't wait to talk about
it. Christopher Lambert alone.
We'll get there. You went 2.5. You gave it
half star for the practical effects. I'm not saying that. I'm saying half star for the practical effects.
Half star for fun size people. I love it. I love how you do that. You can't say it. You're such a pussy, dude. I swear to God.
At Matt Vader 74, folks.
So I'm gonna up you a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 3.
All right.
This is a 3-star movie for me because this is just right in my. This is in my zone. This is in my fun spot.
Yeah.
So, this is my little G-spot movie. So
just that little hook finger.
A little hook
finger.
2 inches in, straight up north,
right there.
What's this, Peter Pan? What is that?
Are you kidding me? That's not an allegory. Fucking Neverland, bro.
Yeah. It's like, look, guys.
It's the second star to the left, straight on it. Dude,
I'm flying.
This is
how is that not an allegory?
It is now.
It is now.
that's what we do here.
That's a new
It's
T-shirt.
like that's what we do here.
It's like the sign of the shocker, and it's like 2 to the left, straight on to morning.
I love it.
Well, now we know why he's got 3 kids.
Oh,
3 stars.
Okay, cool. Tom.
oh, this is too much fun. This is the right panel for these movies.
Yes, it is.
They're all callbacks to my youth.
Yep.
This is '98, so I was a senior in high school when this came out. I remember seeing it in the theaters. I don't have a favorite scene. It's not a movie that has a favorite scene. But the montage, I'm a montage guy. So any good montage, especially in the beginning where you're telling a story that's kind of setting up the story, I like it.
Yeah.
It's fun for me. Like, like give me a war montage, and I can understand the plight. So it starts with a good montage. It's only an hour and a half, which is good for a not great movie, right?
Okay.
Hour and a half is a good length. So no, so bad. It would have been 3 stars if Matt Kadish didn't ruin it for me. Because honestly, if they added the Blade Runner stuff to it,
That would have been cool.
I mean, even if it was like just very subtle, right? Just I mean,
Right.
they didn't have to go. Well, Harrison Ford said no. It was just very subtly made that part of that universe. It would have made the movie more interesting.
It's like right now, I want to go rewatch the movie. Now
Yes, exactly.
And I want to pay really close attention to the garbage heaps because I'll bet you right now that there's a video on YouTube out there that some dude spent 18 hours frame
Deciphering.
by framing the garbage heaps and looking for different
I bet he's like,
cool
look,
shit.
there's
Something from Terminator. There's something from Star Wars. There's R2D2's claw thing that he. It's just. I bet it's all there. I bet there's some really cool stuff.
and a VW bug. And you're like, why is a VW bug on that
Yeah.
planet?
Well, there should be because it's a garbage planet. And that's where they put garbage cars.
Fair enough.
Probably be a lot of Teslas.
How many stars do you give it?
2.5.
2.5?
I mean, it would have been 3.
fair.
And honestly, Matt's backstories on some of this stuff really kind of disappoint me. They gave Kurt Russell way too much money. They could have got anybody else to do this role. Kurt Russell did not carry anything.
No.
So the fact that they gave a third of the budget to the actor, it was based in a universe that had an established, terrifyingly fanatic fan base. And didn't give any of that to us. Yeah, it loses cred for me. So 2.5. Yeah,
Welcome to Paul WStanky Anderson.
yeah,
Yes,
what a bummer.
That's his MO, honestly.
This was my only saving grace of these 3 stupid movies, and I love stupid movies, but this is the only saving grace of this is you can watch this. I'm with you. I could totally watch this movie. It is in my wheelhouse.
Okay.
I like it. I love the old man beating up the young kids. I love it. But it's it loses some cred for me when I found out the backstory. So thanks a lot, Matt.
I completely forgot about that.
Thanks for ruining my day, Matt.
I completely forgot about that. So that we didn't talk about that scene at the beginning where they're doing the training montage and the fat kid. That was me. Fuck,
dude.
I can't keep up.
They just freaking killed him. Yeah, that was dark.
It was dark, right?
That was real dark.
Pretty dark.
Yep. It's kind of reminded me of like the Spartan program from Halo.
Yeah.
and stuff,
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was saying this is basically the Spartan program.
Yeah, kind of.
Or real Spartans. Not the Spartan, real Spartans.
Real.
Like from
Oh,
Sparta.
yeah. Oh, that's true. Yeah, where they all got the idea
Did
from.
you see 300?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, not that movie. I mean, like,
I got you. Kadish, favorite moments? Give it a rating.
My favorite moment was when the movie ended.
Oh my god.
But
that is such a cop out.
But
Come on.
no, I got 2 scenes I want to talk about. I wouldn't necessarily call them my favorite, but so Jason Isaacs is well known for appearing in a lot of Stanky Anderson's movies. He was in Event Horizon before this one, and then he came over here, and he's like kind of like the smarmy big bad guy. And there's a scene where he basically pisses himself in this movie. And that was not originally in the script. Jason Isaacs basically went to Paul W.S. Anderson. He's like, you know what? I think my character is such a sniveling coward that he would piss himself in this moment. And Stanky was like, does anyone have any pineapple juice? And so like they just poured pineapple juice down his pants for that one scene and made it so like he pissed himself.
You know, for a minute there, I was really frightened that he was going to say he actually pissed himself.
I was like wide eyed, like eating my popcorn. Like he peed himself.
He peed himself for that scene.
How many takes did it take?
That's some serious method acting,
Right?
So the second thing is that the snakes in this movie, like they look like kind of like innocent garden snakes. They don't look threatening at all, but those snakes are actually extremely poisonous. They're called Thai vipers, I think.
What?
The green ones?
The green ones, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so like they were so poisonous that it was actually like dangerous for the actors to handle them. So every time you see Kurt Russell holding a snake. It's someone else's hand holding the snake, like the snake wrangler, and it just looks like it's Kurt Russell holding the snake.
So in that scene where that lady cut the head off, did they really cut the head off the snake?
No, they didn't.
Well, that would be cruel and inhumane.
Yeah, no snakes were harmed in the making.
It's like a
of this
poisonous
movie.
snake.
To kill a
snake.
Yeah.
For me, you can kill all the snakes. I don't think we need them. I hate snakes.
Hawaii's with you on that.
I've been there. I love it. I can walk around barefoot. I was like, there's no snakes in Hawaii, and the roads are paved with cheese.
Fresh pineapple right off the side of the road.
Dude, there's nothing poisonous in Hawaii. Whatever you see, you can eat it.
So anyway, this movie, like I remember going to see it in the theater, and I was really excited about it because at the time I was actually a fan of Paul WStanky Anderson, and like he'd done Shopping, which was like his first movie out of the UK. He'd done Mortal Kombat. He'd done Event Horizon. So I was like, oh, like this looks like a cool movie. I love Kurt Russell.
Was freaking awesome.
So basically, when I went to go see this in the theater, I was just like bored for like 2/3 of it until like the final battle scenes at the end. And by then, like I just kind of was checked out, didn't care. This movie actually played better on the rewatch. Like I hadn't seen this since I went and saw it in the theater in like, what was it, 98, something like that. And so I was actually surprised to find that like I was enjoying myself watching this movie. I wouldn't say I liked it. I just enjoyed the experience of having watched it again. So like I'm giving it solid 2 stars, which is great for a Stanky Anderson movie, in my opinion.
For as much salt as you dumped on it, yeah, 2's pretty good.